Hi, David Odell here with OdellCompleteConcrete. This is my first day on this job site. It's early in the morning, about 6:30 a.m. right now at this job. We've got concrete scheduled for 7:30. There was a general contractor on this job that prepped everything and had all the steel in, had all the forms set. He had all the chalk lines on the walls. So I just came in here to do the finishing part of it. And I ordered the concrete and the pumper, supplied the materials and finishing techniques. The type of concrete we're using here is going to be a pea gravel, 3/8 pea gravel mix. It's going to be about I think it's a 6.5 sack. That's per yard, and that means it's going to be around 3,000 psi. Also, I added 1% polar set. It's an accelerator that we're going to use in the concrete, so it'll dry a little quicker because this soil is really moist and wet. It's been raining a lot down here in southern Cal. So we use a little accelerator. Now this stuff I'm spraying on here is some used motor oil that I got from actually a job I did for a mechanic that saved his oil. And I got a couple gallons from him, and now I'm using it on the wood here. That way it'll release early so I can face these steps. Now some of the general contractors' labor force was here in the morning to put up some plastic because they did a smooth stucco. They did a white smooth, and that makes a mess when you're pouring concrete on white and gray. So they're trying to cover it the best that they can. They elected not to put dobies under here, so all we're going to do is raise it up as we rod out. We'll raise up the steel, pull it up as we move along through here. Now we have a chalk line underneath the weepscrete there that it's hard to see because it's tucked under there, so you had to get down pretty low to see it. Now I found when raising this rebar, since it's number 3, when you pull it up and bend it a little bit, it doesn't go back down. So we're just coming off the top of that form, the step, and then we're going to match the top of concrete on the side yard. It's all existing elevations that we're meeting here. Now the cap that they did on this wall was poured in place actually, and then they put a couple coats of stucco on it, and then they put their finish smooth. They did a finish smooth. It's a darker gray than the white on the walls. But you'll see that when we pull the plastic down, because we'll pull it down when we get ready to broom. We have to take the plastic out because we need to get it a tight finish against the wall. And you can do that once the concrete gets hard enough so that it's not slopping around anymore or splattering. It looks like they set this up with really good slope. They probably got about 1.5 to 2% on this lower patio area. It's all got a channel right out of that one opening in the gate. So I set a couple screed pins here, and I checked those for level, and they're sloping good. Now they have a chalk line from this existing concrete all the way down this wall that we're just going to follow. Now I just freehanded it all the way down through that side yard, because it's only about 2 foot wide and my hand floats about 16, so just about reaches across. Now, because of the depth of this, it was so irregular in the depth. It was varied from like 8 inches thick to like 5 inches thick. We got 10 yards in here. It's only It's less than 600 square feet, but it ate all 10 yards. I mean, we actually had to fill the hopper of the pumper with water to blow the whole line out just to get enough concrete to fill it up without having to go and get another concrete truck or pre-mixed bags or something like that. Yeah, we ran out at this point. For now, we had to wait, fill the hopper up so we could have back pressure to blow the line clear to get all the concrete out of the hose, because we needed every drop of it. Now all the water's pushing up and out, and that's standard, especially when the ground is really moist. It can't absorb any more moisture, so all the water's going to push out of the concrete. Plus the polar set's going to help that happen a little quicker. They have another accelerator called calcium chloride, which actually works better than polar set. The only problem with calcium chloride is that it reacts to the steel, the rebar, and it doesn't work real well around steel. It corrodes the rebar basically. So you got to go with polar set when you have steel in the concrete. Now I'm just using a funny float and reaching over that little outside wall. He's got a magnesium. I have a fiberglass funny float, but he brought a magnesium funny float. Or it may be aluminum, I'm not sure. Now we're not going to put any joints in this, any control joints. Today we're going to come back the next day and saw cut a decorative design in this patio. That's going to be in another video, the saw cut pattern, but basically we're going to do a 1 foot band around the perimeter, and then we're going to do a diamond grid or 45 degree cuts to the house, and they're going to be at 3 or 4 foot pattern. Came up with a really nice design for this saw cut layout. It actually helped channel the water right out the front gate. That's the funny trowel there. It looks like he's trying to work all the water to the edge, and we're going to probably push it off into that little planter bed. So now it's just about hard enough, and this is about 4 hours later after we poured to get out here on the knee boards. It's a little early to pull the step face, so we're just going to leave the form in there for now and fill in the holes of the stakes, the wood stakes that we pulled. We just fill those holes in with concrete, and then on our next pass we can pull the step riser off. See how he's pulling all that water and cream off? Move that. So now we're going out here into the area in the sun. So as he goes this direction, the concrete's getting a lot harder. We can utilize all that cream to kind of make it dry a little more uniform and push it where it's getting hard. Now here we are. I just pulled the form off of this step face. It came off really clean. No hand floating necessary. You can just trowel it right then and there. without having to work it. That's the nice thing about this concrete when it's 3,000 and it's a good mix. You don't have to overwork it. So you can see the plastic came off along the front of the house there, and it looks like it kept it really nice and clean. Now we're going to start pulling off this front face. See how clean this comes away with that used motor oil on there. They use some Torx screws on this to assemble this whole form system. No rock pockets in there. We didn't even have to tap the face or anything. Now all we do is run a cove and a top tool, trowel it out. Probably hit it 2 times like that by hand, and then it's ready to broom. It did dry a little unevenly because of the reflection from the sunlight off of the white building. It really got hot, so right there at the bottom of the building where that sun's hitting, it reflected, kind of like going snowblind. Same scenario. So we'll just broom the areas that we can for now, and then we'll just wait until the rest gets hard enough to broom. Keep working those wet areas until it's all so we can broom it and it has the same consistency, same texture all the way through. Here's your finished product. I believe this was the next morning, and we're gonna do in the next video we're gonna do the layout and start saw cutting, but this is basically what it looks like the next morning. You can see it's starting to cure out in some areas where it's lighter than others. It'll dry splotchy like that probably for the first, well, depending on the weather, it could vary from 2 weeks all the way to 3 months before it's completely cured out evenly and the color's uniform. But I'd say at this time of year you're looking at a good 90 days before it's completely cured out evenly. Oh, there's the one joint we put in there where the concrete was wet, because that's a crack point that can happen overnight, so we had to hit that one. But everything else is getting saw cut. So stay tuned for the next video. It's going to be the saw cut layout and cutting technique that I use that seems to work flawlessly every time. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.